I said, hey, are they single? And she was just like, ha ha. I said, I replied back in all caps, are they single though? I said, and all I got back was a like laughing cry emoji. And I was like, what the heck? It was a real question. I was like, I don't know why they don't take me serious. And so she started laughing and she was like, I wonder if she just doesn't think. I was like, well, then it's like, why are you even sending me pictures of these guys? Like, you're just
I don't like your new French forward.
I think I like your nose.
I think I'm in love with you.
What? You love me?
I can't believe I said that. Why did I say that? Who says that?
You love me?
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Rap,
And I'm Tam,
and welcome to
the Blah Blah Marry Me podcast.
episode number 9. And we're talking about all things money today. We're talking about money in relationships. We're talking about money in your pockets. We're talking about money that you owe. We're talking about... Oh, I got a text message.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, I'm sorry. Keep going.
Tell them I said hi.
Okay. Well, I can tell you this. Like, so when I got to high school, right? I think that was kind of around when my dad was trying to like, he wasn't stable in his job placement. So my mom was working twice as hard. So luckily, like my high school, they had this work study program. So I got into the music department and I worked for them. They paid $4.38 an hour. And so I started working the summer before my freshman year. So I was, I think I just turned 14 when I started working there. And so I'd work the summer there. We were only allowed to work 4 hours per day. In the school time, it was like 4 to 6 hours, something like that. So I would work to pay at least like half of my tuition per month. And so I think having to have a tuition, and then having to work to pay off or to help my mom pay off my tuition, kind of gave me like it kind of gave me or it kind of taught me how to like have a strong work ethic, especially because like it's things are. Well, shit, you gotta work hard. You gotta work twice as hard to get the nice things. And I saw that my mom was struggling to pay my tuition because sometimes there would be times where I couldn't take my midterms because my mom wasn't caught up with my tuition, with my bill. So they withheld my test, and they, it wasn't until like my mom had to pay like the bill in full. I'm like, oh shit, that's a lot of fucking money. So like I worked a lot during high school. And so that kind of taught me, like, shit, you want nice things, you got to work hard for it. And doing that, that's kind of where it led me to now, because I'm busting my ass off.
Well, even just to have regular things, you got to bust your ass.
Yeah, that's true.
To even, like, have money to, pay your light and pay your car note and all that stuff, you have to bust your ass. I feel like, it's a constant hustle, like, constant. I think that's just like one thing too about our generation is that we do have a really great work ethic and that we're constantly chasing something, which I think is why like the median time that people will stay at a place of work, people our age, is like 2 to 3 years. Because it's like, okay, we need to like, this is not moving anywhere. If we're not going, if this is just going to be what it is, then I need to look for something else. So I know at least for me, like I said, I overcompensated a lot whenever I was younger, and I just, when I first started working, I just started buying a bunch of crap. That's not the way I like to think I am now, because I'm like, I don't need all of that stuff. So I've been trying really hard to like, what clothes and shoes do I have that I can use still? What do I have that I don't need anymore that I don't use? Because I've gotten into more of I need what do I need?
What do you need versus what do you want?
Yeah, what do I need versus what do I want? I still want some things, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
like, I'll still
shit,
want some things here and there, but not like, do I need, do I have 5 black shirts? Yeah, I do. So I probably don't need another one.
No.
Or, it's just things like, smaller things like that. I'm just trying to change my thinking about that. Like, what do I really need? But I definitely wish I would have saved more money when I was younger.
Yeah,
or
definitely. And I'm
paid
like
more
you.
things.
Yeah, I'm like you. Like as soon as I had my first paycheck, like I did no savings. Like because growing up, I liked audio, I always wanted audio, and audio equipment costs a shitload of money. So like that's where all my paychecks would go to. It's either like audio gear or just whatever stupid bullshit. Eating out a lot with my coworker
eating
Lala.
out a lot. Yeah. Eating out a lot was a big one.
Yeah, it was.
But even then, like, I just wasn't as good as I thought I was with my money. Like, I thought I was good with my money because I paid my bills on time. Like, I always, all of that. But I never, like, did other things, like overpay, loans, because I have student loans, right? I didn't overpay them. Why I didn't do that, I don't know. It's not something that crossed my mind. And I also
So you had the money to overpay them, but you just didn't.
But I didn't. Yeah, no, I just spent it like on stupid things, like I said. And then damn, there was another point I had. Yeah, I wasn't as smart as I thought I was. Like I really wish I would have saved more. Like 401k and all of that stuff. But no, I was spending it.
In my early 20s, late teens, 401k, retirement, all that kind of shit. That was just not in my thought process at the time when it came to money.
I was like, wow, that's really far away.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to use my money, the money that I had now. Like savings just wasn't in my vocabulary.
Yep.
And I totally regret it now, but can't go back and change it.
Coulda, woulda, shouldas. I said coulda, woulda, shouldas.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Exactly. Shit, could have done a lot of things differently.
Yep. All right. So I found a couple of articles that were talking about like what millennials should be doing
with their money.
With their money, like in terms of like saving and all of that stuff. And a couple of these articles actually had some points that we've made before.
Okay.
Excuse me. Where it talks about more millennials that have gone to college than previous generations. It was saying 71% hold bachelor's degrees, which is crazy.
Really?
I think, yeah.
Okay, but the thing is, bachelor's degrees in like what? Like art, history, or
it just says bachelor's degree, so it could be anything. But that it was saying hold on. No, my bad. I read this wrong. 71% of people who hold bachelor's degrees took out student loans.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, because school's fucking expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive now.
Even if you do have a scholarship.
So, with the average debt being $27,000, I went to a private school. My debt ratio was definitely higher than that. But it was also saying that even though we're more educated, that we are making less money than previous generations.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that kind of sucks.
It does suck. And I think it's one of those things because, like, if you think about, like, our parents' generation, my mom and dad both went to school for a while, but they didn't finish. And I think that that's what got you ahead when you were in that generation because people, like, in that generation could still work somewhere for 20 years and just continuously climb the ladder. That is not the case anymore. You can't even get in the door without a bachelor's degree, I feel like.
Exactly.
So it's like you're not special anymore. Like, because everybody has one, it's not special. It's not like a specialty like, I have a degree, I can ask for more money. It's like, no, you need a degree just to get in the door to get an interview.
Exactly. And then on top of that, you need to get like all these certifications, all these little freaking letters behind your name.
So it's like you're not. So I could see that, that we're making less, but that's why, like, because like having a degree is like something that you need now to even, like I said, just get an interview, get in the door. So I definitely can see that. And because of that, millennials delaying home and car ownership as well as marriage and childbirth. So
I guess I can
it's
relate to that.
yeah. And it said, according to this study, and this article is from thesimpledollar.com. It says, according to this study by Goldman Sachs, 60% of 18 to 35-year-olds are renting. 26% are still living with their parents. Hey! And most young people are postponing marriage and kids because they want to dig themselves out of debt or live on their own independently.
See, that's where I fall in. Like, I do not live at home. I do have my own place. I am renting an apartment, but I still got this pile of debt. And so I do fall in that. And I do want to take care of that before, like, I find a girl that I want to get serious with.
For sure. Definitely can understand that. So the article was saying that because of all these factors, after paying rent, utilities, transportation, food, that we're not left with a lot of breathing room. So it's like, how are you supposed to set aside money for an emergency fund or for retirement and all of that? Because last I heard, and this was something, is that you're supposed to have like 6 months saved up as an emergency fund. Like 6 months of bills. So basically 6 months of car note, car insurance, utilities, rent, saved up for an emergency fund. Like that's the standard. Like that's what you're supposed to have. Yeah, I can definitely see that being hard. It's like, and it's just it's interesting. Plus retirement. I read another article that said that young people should be really aggressive with their saving for retirement. And so one thing suggested something like 15%.
Oh, God.
Like older generations are well, okay, I guess Gen Xers, they're the ones, they're saving 15% or more. So I can see that, yeah. But that, I barely started saving enough to max out my match this year.
Yeah.
Because I am trying to do other things, right? Like like I've said, I'm saving because I want to buy a house. That's my goal. That's why I'm staying at my parents so that I can pay off debt, save money so that I can move out and buy a house. Yeah. And so so the more money I save for my retirement, though it's a good investment, right? Because everyone's going to retire at some point. My needs right now are kind of outweighing my future needs because I want to do things now that require more funds up front. So the thought of me saving even more than what I'm saving right now for retirement is really kind of intimidating because, like I said, I have all these other things I want to do right now. So I don't want to.
And you know what? And then I still live by like, you're not promised tomorrow. Like, why are you saving up all this fucking money when, like, shit, you can die next week? I mean, well, I'm not trying to turn things dark, but it's
I was going to say, wow, that's such a damper.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but it's the fucking truth,
it's true, though. It's true. And, like, I think it is good to save. You have to save something. I don't think you can save, like, nothing. But
15%? Like,
yeah, that's a lot.
That's
15%.
A lot. Yeah, that's a lot for some people.
So, like, I know some people that do save the 15%. Granted, they make more money than I do, but it's like at where I'm at right now, the way my bank accounts are set up. I can't do more than what I'm doing right now.
Like right now, I have like probably 3% going to my 401k, and that's because that's like what the highest that my company will match.
Sure.
And it used to be 6, and I'm like, you know what? I need money right now. Like,
wait, did they go from matching 6 to 3, or you were doing 6 and now
I was doing
3?
6. Yeah, I was doing 6, and I'm like, you know what? I kind of need a little bit more money now, so I'm doing 3, and they're matching up to 3. And then I got like, I have another savings account that I'm like depositing $25 a week, and I have another savings account that I'm depositing $50 a week. And so, like, I do have, like, some savings, but every now and then, like, I got to withdraw a little bit from it.
Well, that's good that you're saving in, like, different ways, different, like, portfolios and stuff. I am just saving right now in my retirement because I had to withdraw from my retirement early when I broke my ankle a couple years ago. So I had to take money out for that. So I'm trying to like build that up again. Thankfully, my company does match up to 4.5, which is nice.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
So, well, hold on. It's like 3%, match 3% up to 100%, and then up to 6% half. So if you do that, I'm not explaining that right at all. If I do if I do 3%, I get 3% matched.
Okay.
If I do 6%, I get 4.5 because it's half.
Oh, I get you.
It's 100% up to 3 and then half up to 6.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm doing 6
so
and then I get
6.
the match.
I get you.
So I get the match and then I do. So basically it's 10 and a half is what like roundabout I'm saving. Which is nice, but I'm like supposed to be saving more than that. I'm supposed to be saving 15% apparently. So
that's
anyway.
Yeah.
That's for rich people. No, I'm just kidding.
What? Like, I used to have like a good savings, a good amount in my savings account, but something happened about a year and a half ago, and I had to like withdraw it, and it's kind of I had to withdraw everything because I had to pay all up front.
Yeah.
I mean,
Super
and then
bummer.
and then
shit happens, man. Like
it does. Yeah, it does. That really kind of fucked me over. And then so I've been having like, my truck is old, right? My truck was old. It's 2004. I have like 260,000 miles on it. It still runs, but it has some transmission issues. Some other it has some other little things. And I have and I did have some money. I'm like, I got enough for a down payment. I can get a new vehicle. And my dream car has always been a Ford Explorer. I've always wanted a Ford Explorer. And so I'm like, you know what? If I don't pull the trigger now, I'm never going to do it. So I did it. I mean, it's used. I'm not. And so at the time, I was working a lot. So at the time, I was making some decent money, so I can afford it. But now, as work has kind of like died down a little bit, now like my paychecks are like, it's just becoming smaller and smaller. I'm like, fuck, like, and I can sell I could get like a smaller car, but I'm like, I don't want to do that. It's right now my want for that Explorer is outweighing the need for like just a practical vehicle.
Sure. So, and like I said, I've been saving, since I've been with my parents and stuff. And, I had already gone to talk to like a lender and stuff about what do I need to do to make this a reality, like in the next year or so. And they were like, don't open any lines of credit, stay current on everything you have right now. And my car was a 2008 and I loved my car. It was like the very first car I ever bought for myself.
Yeah.
I
wasn't gonna say anything.
I could see it in your eyes. That's why I just said it so that I'd get it out of the way. Anyway, it was the first car I bought for myself, and it was having some problems, but I kept putting a Band-Aid on it, and I was like, this is going to fix it. It's going to run like a champ, and all these things. And it finally got to where I was like spending too much money on it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, I cannot justify spending another $1,000 on this car. It's 11 years old at this point. Like, I just need to let it go
and get that $1,000 on a down payment for another car.
Yeah, but see, then that so happened. I was not planning on buying another car this year. That was not in my plan because that's another line of credit. You want to save up for a house. Yeah, and that's another line of credit I just opened up. And so it's like, shit, that's like something else that's going to look. And again, that wasn't in my plan, but I had to do it. I didn't have a choice. Like, I could not spend any more money on this car that I had. And so I had to, fork over some money and buy a new car. And I love my car. And for you, you have an Explorer. My dream car is a Tahoe or a Yukon because I've always wanted one, but of course that's not in my budget. So I got another Honda because I love my Honda. Like that's what I had before. And it's great. I love it. It's awesome. I'm glad that I got a new car because now I don't have to worry about having car issues. Knock on wood. Hopefully for a while. But like that's another car payment. That was money that I was planning on, that I was saving for a house and all this stuff. So, you know, shit happens. Like that's probably going to be the theme of this episode. If anything, is that shit happens. And I mean, I'm grateful that I had the money that I could put into it so that I could buy this car. But it's like, shit, that's not what that money was for. It was earmarked for something else. So it's like starting, you know, saving money again. It's like the cycle again, you know. And trying to get out of my parents' house so that I can buy my own house. But
yeah, of course. And then,
anyway.
And then speaking of shit happens, so like, you know, my whole teeth situation, so I had to get you know, I had to pay for that, and my insurance only covers so much, so I got to pay out of pocket for that shit, and that shit's been like fucking killing me. Yeah. And so that shit was like... And
you had to do it. Again, that was something you couldn't avoid. You had to fix your teeth. You need your teeth.
No shit.
So yeah, it's just like, gosh. I feel like sometimes, you know, people, there's never a break. You can never catch a break sometimes. No. But
it doesn't feel like it sometimes.
Grateful that we could figure these things out, that we had like the money to do them, but at the same time it's like, that wasn't meant for you. It was meant for something else.
I know. Like when I went for the checkup for the dentist, I'm like, hey man, so like I've had a lot of pain, like what's going on? Like I'm thinking like a root canal, I'm thinking just something, you know, like a simple fix, but now we gotta extract that tooth, we gotta do this, we gotta give you some implants, and that's gonna be $11,000. Like what the fuck? Fucking holistic dentist, man. Seriously, I should have just went to Mexico.
Well, you went to, I'm telling you, I told you, and you were
I know, but like, you know, I like the natural shit, you know, I don't like that pharmaceutical shit.
Blah, blah, blah. Rich
Shut up. I can see your face rolling your eyes at me. But anyway, yeah, I mean, all right, so it's
yeah. You know, anyway, we'll move past it and get through it. It's just, it sucks sometimes. But anyway.
It does.
What are some things that you wish you would have done when you were younger? Like money-wise. Like, what do you wish?
Money-wise?
Like, yeah.
Okay.
Something like if you could go back and tell your younger self, hey, man, do X, Y, and Z. What would you tell yourself?
Okay. I would definitely start a savings account and just like throw a little bit of money. I mean, that's $25 a month, $50 a month, just something like a little bit, and don't touch it. Like, just don't touch it. Forget about it, and see at the end of the year, like how much money you have. Like, you'll be amazed what $50 a month adds up to at the end of the year. I mean, just like second thing would be get into investing. Like, I didn't get into investing until like 2-3 years ago. But if I would have gotten into investing like when I was in my early 20s, like holy shit, like there was just so many companies that just like blew, like fucking Amazon, Google, Netflix. Like all, like who would have thought, like Netflix, like a company that just like started off sending CD or DVDs will blow up to like a fucking huge ass company.
That one I did not see coming. Netflix.
Yeah. Neither did I. So like, yeah, definitely starting this savings account, just like depositing small amounts of money, and just like never touching it, getting into investing, and then probably stop spending money on stupid shit.
Like?
Clothes, eating out, like.
That's mine. Yep.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Like, you can eat at home, make your food. Like, don't.
You have food at home.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, now I totally get what my mom says, what every mom says. Like, we have food at the house. And of course, it's not the food that you want to eat, but you know what? It makes fucking money sense. Yeah.
Definitely.
I wish I would have done those three things. Instead of eating out for lunch every work day, buying clothes that I don't really need. Shoes, I'm not that bad on shoes. I hold my shoes for like a couple of years. So that's why if you look in my closet, I have a shitload of shoes, but like some of them are like, half of them are like 2-3 years old.
Yeah.
But yeah, what about you?
So my advice to my younger self would be to pay off those student loans in 5 years. That would have been my best advice that I would have given to myself. Again, I thought that I was good with money. And I mean, I was, like I said, because I paid my shit on time and I didn't have like crazy, credit cards and stuff. But I was living back at home with my parents. There was no reason I shouldn't have been paying more on my student loans than I was.
Gotcha.
And I wasn't. Like, there's not, I really should have. But again, it's just for like, I can't blame anybody. My parents didn't know, like they,
I know.
They didn't know like what this, I mean, they've, had a house mortgage forever and they were like, as long as you pay your bills on time, you're good. And that was like their principle for life, basically.
Yeah.
So for me, they were like, just pay your bills on time. But it's like, there's even further, like, hey, can you pay an extra, like you said, $50 a month? Can you pay an extra $50 for your student loans? Like, put that towards your principal.
Yeah.
I would tell myself to do that. Money wise, and this is funny because I went back to school for a while to get my master's. I did not complete that master's, but I had the loans that went with it. So I would say, don't go back to school. And it's funny because I like think about this and I like cringe on the inside because at the time when I was like at that crossroads, I was back home for like 3 years, 2.5, 3 years at this point. And I was thinking I wanted like a change. Like, what do I want to do? And I had some money saved. And I was like, I think maybe I need to look into investing and buying something like a house. And this was like 24-year-old me, right? Yeah. So, or 23, 24-year-old me. So at the time, this one area of town, it's Midtown, had not been built up all the way yet. Now it's like popping.
Now it's like crazy.
Yeah, now there's like, all these bars and restaurants and those 3-level townhomes like all packed in there. It hadn't been built up yet. And if you remember, 2008, 2009 is whenever that bubble burst. So there was a lot of half-finished townhomes in that area.
That you could have possibly...
That builders were trying to unload because they couldn't afford to finish them. And at the time... Okay, so I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. At the time, I had told... I had been looking and I had found these two that were right next to each other. And they were selling... It was the shell. I think the inside had... it didn't have sheetrock yet. It was like studs.
So it was just a shell.
It was just a shell. Like, well, no, because it had like insulation and shit. It just wasn't finished. Like the outside of it was on, but the inside needed to be completely done.
Gotcha.
And there was 2 of them being sold, and they were cheap. Like for what they were, I think they were each maybe like $80,000 or something.
Get the fuck out of here. Are you serious?
And this is a real story. This is like what happened. And so I saw those, and I was like, damn. If I buy those 2, I could live in one and rent the other one.
Exactly.
And so I was like, okay, it's probably going to cost me at least $125 a piece to finish them. Yeah. So I'm looking at, they're each about 80 or 90,000. So I was like doing the math, right? And how much it was going to cost me to do this. Yeah. Well, at the time, because I didn't have a lot of credit, like I didn't. I had only bought my car and I had only had my car for like a year or something at that point. I had some money saved, but it wasn't like a crazy amount, just a couple thousand, a few thousand maybe. Probably it would have been enough to get like the shells of the house, but the construction loan is what I was going to have trouble getting. Yeah. And I remember telling like my mom, hey, like, what do you think about this? And she was like, it's going to be really hard for you to get a construction loan right now. Like, maybe you need to think about doing something like that whenever you're making more money or something like that. And I was like, okay. And I went back to school instead.
God damn it.
Okay, and so I went back to school instead.
Yeah.
Moved back to Austin. Didn't even finish that degree.
God,
And then I
sucks.
remember when I moved back, because I had even gone like to go look for these houses
Yeah.
when they were not finished. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
there was like not a lot around them.
Yeah.
I went back to look at them because I had remembered there was like all these other townhomes and it was all built up around them. And I went back and I looked to see how much they were. They were like $350,000 a piece.
Damn.
So
Damn.
that would
Damn.
hurt. Because then it's like, shit, like if I would have been, and this is again, I didn't know. Like I
of
just
course.
didn't know. I asked my parents or asked my mom, and this is the answer that I got. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, because that I didn't know. But
Yeah.
if I had been a little bit more headstrong and like doing some more research into it and like
Mm-hmm.
said, no, like this is what I want to do, like it probably would have sucked for a while, obviously, because I
Yeah,
would have had
yeah,
to
yeah.
finish them and build them and do all that
Yeah.
stuff.
It's a long-term.
But it would have
long-term thing.
been a really awesome
Hell
long-term investment for me.
Hell yes.
And
Exactly.
that's something that, like, I guess I just didn't know. I didn't know
Yeah.
any better. And
same.
it's like one of my biggest moments. Like I'm telling you, when I think about
Mm-hmm.
it, my insides they cringe up because I was like, dang it. Yeah. So, opportunities missed, learning and life experiences, but I would have done that. I should have done that instead of going the route that I did. But it's all good. It's all good. So
It's all good. Okay.
it's all good. It's fine. I'm fine. Like it's like that meme.
Yeah, you're totally okay with that.
So
God damn, that sucks.
but anyway, so yeah, I would say
Yeah.
for me, my younger self, do not go back to school, but instead, like you, look into investment opportunities. And it doesn't have to be stocks and bonds. It could be things like that. Real estate
Yeah,
is
and-
definitely
yeah, yeah.
always going to be a good investment.
Yeah.
So yeah, that, and then I would tell myself the same thing you said. You have food at home. Like
Yeah.
you don't need
be
to go
lazy.
out.
Make your damn lunch.
Yeah, you don't have to go out to eat every day.
Wake up 20 minutes early and just make a lunch.
Yeah.
Sandwich, whatever.
So
the fuck, you know?
yeah, save your money, man. Like
Yeah.
think about long term. And I think that's what
Yeah.
happens when we're like super young like that, is that we can't see long term.
No.
Like we're literally just seeing what's in front of us right now and what we want. I want that.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy it right now
Yep.
because I
Yep.
can, and I'm going to do that. So,
Yep.
but we can't see long term. So I would say definitely see past the short term
Yeah.
gratifications of what things are, and like seriously think long term.
exactly.
Long term financial health. Tam could have been living a nice life in her
Yep.
midtown townhome right now. But hey, I would have never met you though.
That is true.
I would have never met you if I would have never moved back to Austin.
But you know what? What gets me is that like around 2010, I find out about, or 2010, 2011. I don't know. I forgot what it was. I find out about this thing called Bitcoin. And I'm like, what the hell is this? Like at that time, Bitcoin was like $200, $250, pretty cheap compared to now.
Yeah.
And then it was, they were marketing like, oh, it's gonna be the way of the future. It's how you're gonna pay for things in the future. And like it intrigued me a lot. And I wanted to buy some, but at the time you could only buy Bitcoin through PayPal. And for some fucking reason, like my PayPal never linked up to my bank account because I guess I had a credit union or something like that, a local credit union, and so like they just never linked up. I could never get them linked up, even though I called PayPal and like, hey, what the fuck?
I need to buy this Bitcoin.
Yeah. And so like, okay. And then you could also mine for Bitcoin. Mining is like, basically you're just like, you're solving all these algorithms. You're solving all these problems with your computer. And the more algorithms you solve, like, you more coin you get. So like, I could have easily get some money. I could easily build a computer solely just for that. It wouldn't have
mine
cost
Bitcoin.
anything. Huh?
To mine Bitcoin?
To mine Bitcoin.
Okay.
Because at that time it was like nothing. Like you didn't have to have like the super rigs that you gotta have today. It was just you just take it. You just needed a simple computer. And so I'm like, okay, so I wish if I could have done that. So at the time, like 2 years ago, around Christmas time, price of Bitcoin went up to like $19,000-$20,000 per Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And I'm just like thinking like, holy fuck, like. Imagine how many fucking Bitcoins I could have bought. Imagine how many Bitcoins I could have mined for back in like 2010, 2011. I'm like, granted, I would have to wait like 8 years or 7 years or something like that, holding on to all those Bitcoins.
Long-term investment, though.
Exactly. Like, what if I would have had 100 Bitcoins?
Yeah.
And then like each one of those like worth $20,000.
You'd have been rich.
I would have. And then I would have been like you, and I would not have known you. I would have been living the dream.
Coulda, woulda, shouldas. I feel like this has turned into an episode of regret. Like,
I feel that too.
Things we didn't do, and we're like, damn, how much better would our lives have been right now?
Yeah, I feel that too.
Man.
I feel that too.
Damn. And it's like that episode. Did you ever watch The Big Bang Theory?
Not every single episode.
Well, but you know the premise of it, right? They're a bunch of nerds, and they and I think that's what they did. What?
Yes. I know which episode you're talking about.
Where they're like they
couldn't find the USB.
Yeah. And Sheldon hid it all the Bitcoin from them, and he put it on like the Superman flash drive.
Yeah.
And then they lost it. And I don't remember how much they had. And I remember in that episode, because it got to like $20,000 per Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And in that episode, it was climbing, and I think it was still like $5,000 a Bitcoin. And at $5,000, they were going to make like a shit ton of money because they had all this Bitcoin. And I think it ended up in the comic book store. And Stuart was like, "Oh, I could just wipe this and make $10. I'm rich." Like he thought, because he didn't know it was on it. That would have been you, Rappy Rap.
That would have been me. That would have been me.
Yeah.
Oh shit! All right, so I got this BuzzFeed list.
Okay.
In front of me right now. It's
Tell me about it.
called 12 Tips to Help Millennials Improve Their Finances.
Interesting. Go for it.
All right, so number 1, if you have to choose, tackle credit card debt before student loans.
I'd say because credit card interest is a lot higher. Like some of these store cards have like 25% interest or some shit like that.
I know, that's fucking crazy.
I'm like, that is ridiculous. Like, so I would definitely agree with that one.
Yep. Okay, so this one, number 2, is try to make the 50-30-20 rule your goal.
What's that?
Let me see what it is. Okay, so this person advises putting 50% of your take-home pay towards your needs, your bills, your groceries, your housing, your transportation, etc., your necessities, right? 30% towards your wants, to make your life enjoyable, and then 20% towards future you.
So saving.
So savings, investments, debt payments above minimums.
Interesting. Okay.
I think I've read this before, but I just,
in one ear and out the other. I'm gonna go buy my Explorer now.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm smart with my money. So number 3 is start investing your money right now. Even if you can only invest in a few dollars a week, which there's a whole bunch of apps now that let you invest for just like for pennies.
Oh, yeah. I saw one that I was looking at called Acorns.
Yeah, there's Acorns that automatically like...
I think it rounds up your dollars or something. Yeah.
There's Acorn. There's Robinhood that... You don't have any trading fees, your commissions, you can buy whatever. There's another one called hold on. There's another one called M1 Finance. M1 Finance is an app that lets you buy portions of a stock. So like Apple right now is like $280. So you could, if you only have $20 to spend, you could only put $20. You could buy $20 worth of shares of that Apple stock.
Okay.
Let's see. So there's something about 401k. About that 401k, use it and determine how much to contribute based on how much your company matches. So that's step number 4.
Okay.
If your credit score isn't nearly where you want it to be, don't panic. Which I never really panic about my credit score. I know my credit score is shit right now, but whatever.
I'm embracing it. It's my mess.
Exactly. Embrace talking about your income with friends. That's what we're doing right now.
Oh, yay. We got one right.
Let's see. If you and your partner live together and one makes significantly more income than the other, try to approach a system that's fair.
Ooh, let's talk about this one.
Okay.
So you are living with somebody,
Okay.
not married.
Not married.
My money or our money?
Okay. So
Even-
I've never been one to have joint bank accounts.
Okay.
But so I don't like joint anything. Joint
Okay.
bank accounts, joint 401k, and joint Facebook. Yeah, joint nothing.
Okay.
So it's damn. I want to say it's my money.
You're like,
We're not
I
married?
can tell we were going my money just from the beginning statements.
Yes, I was just trying to soften the blow. It's my money. Like,
So,
you can't
okay,
tell me
but
what
what
to
if-
do with it.
What if you're married though? So let's.
If I'm married?
Yeah, now you're married.
God damn.
My money or
What's
money?
mine is yours. And what's yours
Okay.
is mine.
So still joint account, or you have like
No.
access to their account and they have access to yours?
They'll have access, but like it's not joint. Like she can be with Wells Fargo, I'll be with Chase or something like that. You
Why
know?
can't you both be with Chase?
That's too
Makes
easy.
it easier.
Yeah, no, it's too easy to sneak money.
Oh gosh. Okay. So then how would you figure like paying bills and stuff?
Well, so what my parents did growing up was my mom paid the mortgage and then my dad paid all the utilities.
Okay.
That was their
Did your mom make more
agreement.
money than your dad?
My mom made more money than my dad, yeah.
Okay.
So that was their agreement.
That was the deal. So it's like even then still her money that she was putting in. So they didn't
Yeah.
have like a joint account that they went into.
Yeah. I don't
Interesting.
think that, because my mama had her own local bank and my dad had his own bank. So yeah,
Got
they didn't
it.
have a joint account.
Okay. My parents, I think they've teeter-tottered back and forth.
Yeah.
Your money, I'm sorry, your bank account, my bank account, joint bank account. I would like to think that I could have a joint bank account with my spouse just because it would make it easier, like with paying bills and shit. Like
Yeah.
it all goes into one, it all goes out into different places
get
wherever
that.
it needs to go.
I get that. I get that.
But I would insist on like separate savings or something like that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
like we each have our own 401k account. Like we each have like a separate savings or whatever.
Yeah.
And then but paying bills and all of that out of one account. I feel like
Yeah.
that would just make it easier. But I've never been married or lived with anybody, so I wouldn't know like
That's
if that
true.
really does make it easier or
Yeah.
if it doesn't, like how you said your mom paid the mortgage, your dad paid the utilities, and I pay this, you pay this, like regardless of what the amounts are.
Yeah.
So, I guess
Yeah.
it would just depend. But I would like to think our money, like once we're married.
No, I get that. I get that. I mean, we were talking earlier about how like you had of somebody who moved in together and they were just like boyfriend, girlfriend. And then that girl just like jumped ship and like took all the fucking money.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, fuck that. Like, yeah, fuck
that
that.
okay, but that was different because they were like, I think they were just living together. I would not do that just living together.
Then how did she get all his money from his bank account?
That's what I'm saying. They were living together and they like had joint accounts or something.
God,
So,
yeah, fuck that.
but that's what I'm saying. I would not do that, like unless I was
Okay.
married. Like
Unless you're- okay.
unless I'm married. Like you're not touching shit of mine until we're married. Like
Yeah.
what's my money is my money until we
Yeah,
get married.
if you need some money from my
So-
bank account, I'll Venmo you.
I'll Venmo you. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Or just go to the
So-
ATM before the strip club.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Moving on. Yeah, I don't know. I saw actually a funny story the other day that like this like lady that her and her husband had a joint account, and she said when they would go to like Walmart or something that she would just throw like a few gift cards on top and like just like throw it in with the groceries. And that so then when she like wanted to go out to eat, he'd be like, no, we can't afford it. And she was like, wait, I think I have a gift card somewhere. And so they actually had already paid for it. But like he didn't know any different because it was just part of like the groceries. And so she would be like, oh, we're going to Roadhouse, like Texas Roadhouse. So anyway, it was really funny.
Wow.
But like I've heard some sly stories about that too, where people like have secret squirrel accounts that like their significant others don't know about.
My buddy Tank, he had his he had a credit card that his wife didn't know about.
Oh gosh.
That's the credit card that we used to go to.
That y'all used to go to the strip club with?
Yeah. Not the strip club, but like the clubs, the bars,
Strip club. You don't have to lie about it. We're all friends here.
Rounds for everybody. What?
Oh gosh.
What?
You have to pay that back though. Like that's the thing that sucks about credit cards. Credit cards can be helpful like when you get into a pinch for something, like you need to build your credit and all that, but they also can be super dangerous. That would be something I probably would tell my younger self is you don't need all the credit cards. No. You just need one.
Just one, and then just forget that you have it. Mm-hmm. Well, if you don't have anything on it, they're gonna close it after a couple months. So you buy it every now and then, just like
be smart with it. Pay it off every month. Don't carry a balance over. Get one that gets you some reward points or something. Just be smart about it.
So here's one that I don't really know. So it says, if you're a parent, consider investing in a 529 plan. Do you know what a 520? A 529 plan is essentially an education savings plan sponsored by a state agency, or an educational institution that offers tax benefits and can help you be more financially prepared for your child's future. Yeah, I had no idea that was a thing. Yeah, well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
529. So if you're, going to have a kid within the next year or so.
Oh, I don't think I'm going to have a kid in the next year. Like,
well, I don't know. You seem pretty happy with that bartender you met the other night.
Oh my gosh, hush. I just looked at him and that was it because I was too
You just said that was your next blah. That was blah blah. That was your blah blah.
It was my blah blah because I just saw him and I was like, wow, he's so nice looking. I didn't even hear anything he said. It was nice looking. That's all. But I didn't even say hi. Or I didn't even say anything past that. So.
Well, it was a busy night. It was during
the World Series.
Yeah.
Oh, so sad.
It sucks for y'all. It sucks for y'all, by the way.
It does. Thanks for rubbing it in. It was a very sad night.
Hey, it's not like my Cowboys have been, they've been up and down all season. They haven't won a Super Bowl in 20-some years. Almost 30.
That's a lifetime of heartache.
Exactly.
Being a Cowboys fan.
Exactly. All right, so the last tip that BuzzFeed has, if it says if you're having trouble getting started, there's apps out there that can help you maintain a budget and also help you invest in whatever you gotta do, and they can help you easily track and meet your goals.
Got it. All good. So
I got one more question for you. So, what does money mean to you? And what if you meet a person that money isn't really doesn't mean anything, and they can be homeless for all they care. They just want.
Yeah. No, it's making me think. So, what does money mean to me? That's an interesting question. So, money, obviously, we need money. It makes the world go around, quite literally. Yes. You need money to survive. You need it to thrive. So I would hope that I would be with somebody who has the same mindset in that they understand that money is important and that they're not just going to meander and be, if they don't like their situation, that they're going to try to improve it, that they're not just going to accept it for what it is.
Yeah.
So, like, if something we want to do is travel more, but we need more money to do that, how are we going to do that? Like, if we like our jobs and this and that, so then we need to build some kind of side hustle, right? We need to take on like a second job, or I don't know, look at other ways of cutting money. Like, maybe we need to reassess our car insurance. Like, maybe there's some way we can be saving there or something. But taking steps to making that our like reality of what we want. So I'm a big like goal setter. Like, I like setting goals and putting timelines on them because it keeps me motivated and moving and wanting to do more for that. So I would hope that I would be with someone who was like-minded in that way.
Okay. So, and what if you were with somebody who just like had a bad habit of just like spending things on stupid shit? Would that be a deal breaker for you?
I was literally the thing that was going to come out of my mouth was I probably don't think I'd be with them, but that's kind of harsh. So I don't know. I feel like that would be pretty relative early on, though. I don't feel like that would be something that we were together for like years and that it finally just manifested itself.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a pretty observant person in general, so I would feel like I could catch on to that pretty quickly. I also don't have the best spending habits either. Like, I fall into these things where I just like, you know, I went to Costco yesterday with my mom and spent way too much money because I was like, oh my gosh, they have so many things here. I know. So many things at Costco. That's why I don't go to Target anymore. Oh my gosh, Target too. And so anyway, I don't have the best spending habits sometimes because I get sucked into the wormhole. Like yesterday, like I saw this cute little jacket and it was like a toddler jacket. I don't have any kids, but who does?
But
my cousin.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I wanted to buy it. And so I text my cousin and I was like, I'm going to buy this. What size does she wear? Yeah. She sent me what her size was, and I bought it again.
You bought it?
Yeah, I bought it for her.
It's a nice gesture. It was
nice so cute. Oh my gosh, Rap! It was adorable. I'll have to show you a picture when we're done, but it's so cute. And so I had to buy it again. I don't have kids. It was definitely not a necessity, but I was like, it's so cute, and I need to buy it, and so I did. So I like I said, I could be better about my spending habits because sometimes I get like that. But we can't both be like that all the time. So I would need to have some restraint, you know.
And then every now and then, you just have to splurge on yourself a little bit every now and then.
Yeah, and see, that's what my problem is. Sometimes I get into the treat yourself thing a little too much, and I can't get out of it. And I get into it's like treat myself all the time because I've been working really hard and I deserve it. So anyway, I just need to rein myself in a little bit sometimes. But anyway, I'm not like that all the time. And so I would hope that my future spouse or whoever would be like that too. Like, it's okay for us to treat ourselves, but not all the time.
Not all the time. I get you.
What about you?
Yeah, I'm kind of similar. Like, your views are kind of the same as mine. I see money as a tool, to get you what you want, tool to get you where you want to go. And yeah, you got to work twice as hard to get as much money. But when it comes to like having a lot of money, like that song says, more money, more problems.
For sure.
Because, so I got $50,000. Okay, so let me buy a fucking car. Yeah.
It's terrible. Like, that should not be your first thought. Like, I have all this extra money. What am I going to do with it? Like,
but spend it on stupid shit. Like,
right?
You know, like any other normal millennial will do.
Oh gosh, we're going to be better though. Like,
oh yeah. Definitely. Like our 40s. That's when we're really going to.
That's our time to shine. Is it our 40s?
Yep.
Oh man.
Can
you imagine what we would look like that in then? Oh gosh, I can't even think about that.
That's I don't want to think. Years for me.
Stop it right now. We're so close. Like, oh my gosh, I can't. I can't think about it. I can't. Not right now.
I have white chin hairs.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, I don't have any in my head, but I got white chin hairs.
I have them in my temples, like in my hair, my hairline, white hairs.
What happened to us?
We're getting old, dude. It's okay. It happens. Let's embrace it. All right. Parting words?
Parting words. It's kind of harsh to tell you tell you guys, like, don't be a bitch with your money.
I was like literally thinking, how are we going to spend this today?
I know. Like, don't be a bitch. Don't buy that fucking
Be a little
Burger
bitch.
King. Invest that $5 into something.
Right.
Yeah, that's stupid. Don't be a bitch. Make your lunch at home.
There's food at the house.
There's food at the house. And if you don't like it, suck
How
it up,
about-
buttercup.
Oh gosh. How about we say, look past the short-term gratifications and look into long-term rewards.
That's a
So,
good one.
don't be little bitches and go to the drive-thru and to Starbucks every day. Think about how you can invest that money or save it, because long-term financial health is going to be a lot better when you stop looking at the instant gratification of things. So that's just going to be my parting words.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say there's food at the house. 'Cause-
End scene.
yes. And you know what? Make your own coffee at home, too.
That's a good one.
Yes,
That's a good
'cause
one.
I just spent like $5.50 today on a fucking cold brew that I could have.
Could have made at the house. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Okay, so we want to hear from you guys. Please join in the conversation. Find us on our Instagram at blah blah marry me, Facebook at blah blah marry me podcast. We want to hear, what are your biggest financial regrets? You heard ours, very sadly. Mine with the lack of real estate investment, and Raps with his lack of sorry, dang it, Rap with his lack of Bitcoin investment. So we want to hear from you. What are some things that you wish you would have done when you were younger? Shoot us an email, contact at blahblahmarryme.com. We are going to have a Q&A episode at the end. Gosh, this is already episode 9.
I know.
So we only
It's
have a
almost the
few
end of the
more
first
left.
season.
I know. So we're going to have a Q&A for our very last episode. So we want to hear from you. Shoot us an email, like I said, contact at blahblahmarryme. Interact with us on our Instagram or Facebook. What else, Rap?
So I want to give a shout out, actually.
Do you?
I do. I want to give a shout out to one of our top listeners.
One of our real ones?
Huh?
One of our real ones?
One of our real ones from day one.
Yeah.
Abby G. She
Hey,
has
Abby.
been my childhood friend from private school days, from elementary. And I just want to say thank you, Abby G. We appreciate you for listening every week and for just being supportive.
Yeah. Has Abby been sharing us on her social media?
That I don't know, but she's gonna need to though.
Yeah. So yeah, anyone else wants a shout out, share us on your Instagram, tag us at blah blah marry me, or on Facebook, tag our page, blah blah marry me podcast. We'll shoot you a shout out next episode. Thanks, Abby.
I like your nose.
I think I'm in love with you.
You love me? Yeah.
I think I'm in love with you.
You love me?
Goddamn.
Yeah, my biggest regret, not buying those 2 townhomes.
That sucks.
Literally my biggest regret in life.
That $250 investment would have gave you $600K at
Yep.
least.
At least.
At least.